नमस्ते भैया, नमस्ते सभी को। Am I audible?
जी भैया, नमस्ते नमस्ते, वेलकम। यस यस भैया, वेरी मच ऑडिबल। वेलकम।
Namaste.
नमस्ते नमस्ते भैया, ओवर टू यू।
Yeah. So namaste everyone. Welcome to the weekly reunion follow-up meeting of the students eSIP. Every Wednesday we discuss regarding the students workshop content, UHV content in this 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. So a few of you have joined already. If we have been discussing regarding this relationship from the previous few Wednesdays, and we have just finished discussion on trust, the foundation feeling, in the previous Wednesday. So we are going to have a continuation of that discussion here today. This the presentation which you see right now is a continuation of trust, the foundation feeling. So before that, just to have a recap of what we have been discussing in the past few weekly meetings. Relationship is there between oneself and every other self. We need to recognize and fulfill the relationship. That is something which we have discussed in the beginning. And there are feelings in relationships. The body is used just as an instrument. The body is used just to express these feelings with other selves. Now, the mutual fulfillment of the relationship is leading to mutual happiness, my happiness and the happiness of the other self. Then we discussed about the foundation feeling, trust. So the key proposal here is that trust is to be assured that the other wants to make me happy and prosperous. That is what we saw in the beginning of this. We have explored with regard to this proposal with the 8 questions, on 4 of them on the natural acceptance and the other 4 on the competence part. So when we evaluate ourselves, we can evaluate our feelings rightly, and through the evaluation we can see that the intention of myself is right. I intend to make myself happy and I intend to make the other happy. So we can also see that the other is also similar to me. So the intention of the other is same as that of mine. He or she wants to make himself or herself happy, as well as he or she wants to make me happy. This is the intention part or the natural acceptance part. Now the evaluation of competence will be discussed in detail in the next discussion, respect, as we know. But as a continuation of this trust, we have seen a few examples like breaking of a fragile material like glass. And we continued saying that I never question or I never suspect my intention. I can see that I never make mistakes, but I see others that they make mistakes and they make mistakes intentionally. So this is what we have discussed as an example, and we have noted that this is happening because we evaluate the other person based on his competence, his or her competence, rather than his or her intention. So when we evaluate the other on the basis of their intention, the clarity that the other wants to make me happy and prosperous is there. And with this right evaluation on the, first of all, on the intention, we can trust every other human being. And now we have to discuss regarding this video. So every one of you would have seen this video for sure, right here, right now. Before going to this reaction response slides in this particular session, let us take some sharing from the participants who have joined right now. So I can give mics to some of you to just to give you a sharing with regard to what is your exploration in the previous few weeks with regard to the relationships. I can see Babu Bhaiya there, Ashok Bekhraji is there, Bhagavan Singh Paramarji is there, Damodar Bhaiya is there, and several others. Kuruva Srinivasuluji is there, Prithvi Balikaji is there. So mic is given to many of you. If you can, Rajneesh Ramaji is also there. Sandeep ji is there. If any one of you would like to share your exploration, you're welcome. Any questions also? If you have any questions, you can place it now. Yeah, am I not audible, Bhaiya? Is my voice not audible? I can raise the voice, Babuji. Yeah. Sandeep ji. Yeah. Ashok Bakraji, your mic is on mute. Yeah.
हेलो भैया, नमस्ते।
Hello. Namaste.
नमस्ते टू ऑल सर।
Namaste.
तो भैया मेरा कुछ एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर रहा हूँ कि just 1 week before, just some senior person has called me and unnecessarily blaming me. I was just calm.
Yeah.
But suddenly I just lose my, what is that?
Temper, you say.
Patience, yeah.
Patience, huh?
I just said I'm coming proudly. So that was I can't keep my presence. What I want. I was trying to be and how the my bhav is like that, but I didn't keep it like that only. So I will just shout. So I lose that one. So how to? And again, some of the students in that case, I will tell that I was a lot of times discussing to the students, but their nature is not changing. I understand that will take a lot of times, but if that time one passes, and if they will understand later on, so they will lose a lot of things. How to handle that one?
Ji.
That I am not understanding actually. Like in our webinars, what we are organizing, so we do have some discipline and rules that this much has to be attended. You have to do, then only you will be eligible to get the certificate. So what to do? I'm not understanding actually. Everything is going okay, but I need the suggestions and how you are dealing that.
So, Bhaiya, the first thing which you said is your maybe higher authority or a colleague called you, rather he started maybe raising his voice, right? And you felt like what was your feeling at that time when somebody spoke like that to you?
Yeah, feeling was I don't understand that at that time. Earlier I was okay, but I lose the temper.
Right.
He was just cheating. He was shouting loudly. I understand.
Shouting. Yeah.
That person is making me irritating, but I don't know why I lose the temper. First time I lose the temper. Since a long time I was not temper, but I don't know why I lose it.
Yeah. So when shouting by somebody is also an external agency or external factor, right?
Factor, yeah.
And if we relate our happiness or harmony with these external factors, there is every possibility that we lose our harmony, and that may lead to this reaction mode.
Yeah.
Or anger mode. So when such a thing happens, we can evaluate what is happening within us and let us set the feelings right. So as you said, this happens with me also. So what I do in such situations is, earlier I used to shout, maybe before really verifying the proposals. But when I verified the proposals, what the change which I can see in me is, I evaluate myself, what is happening within me. I can see that in the beginning there was disharmony within me, but the expression outside was not coming because of the verification of the proposals. And later I noticed that this reaction inside, rather this feeling inside, is also getting somewhat right. So that not only the expression outside, but the feeling inside is also getting all right because of this evaluation, self-evaluation. That I see that this external factor is not going to affect me anyway, unless I take it for, say, myself. Unless I take it so that this is going to affect me. If the other person shouts, when the other
Later on,
person
I
shouts,
understand. Later on, I understand. I self-evaluate that what I did. So I understand later on that what situation was happened to me. Meaning where I was actually, why I shout.
This is okay, Bhaiya. Maybe right now, because we have started verifying the proposal. So right now, this is okay. But we slowly, maybe as you said, it takes time for the students also to verify the proposal. So we ourselves take long time. So the students will take more time than that for verifying the proposals. So slowly we will verify the proposals and try to validate the proposals in our life experiences. So we see that this evaluation happens continuously, not just for a moment, not just for that particular instance, but continuously in our life experiences, and that helps us to set our feelings right. That is very important. Setting our feelings right is very important because we then try to confine this happiness within. Verify the proposals with our natural acceptance, so that the harmony within, which is leading towards happiness, is something which is innate. This we can see very slowly. Whatever happens outside is an external trigger, so we don't need to disturb our harmony due to this external trigger. This we can see very slowly, but only through this verification and validation process. It takes time. And what you said is very true with regard to the students. They take more time because we are helping them to improve their competence. It may not happen within, say, 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or even 4 years. After their, say, graduate program, so 3 years or 4 years, the proposals will remain within them, initially as information and then as verification. They will verify this with their natural acceptance. They can see this. And then,
one more thing, Vaya. Whenever I supposed to drive car, in the evening especially, when the people is giving the headlight in eye, nowadays the white LED light is coming in the car. I used to ask for the deeper, but people never used to give the deeper. So in that case also, I sometimes understand think that I am asking for the deeper. यार इतना तो पढ़े लिखे हो यार deeper तो दे दो. But that also makes how you people are managing these things actually. And I used to understand कि okay नहीं दिया तो थोड़ा बहुत अंदर में सोच आ जाता है. So how you supposed to think in that case?
Yeah, here also we can see that what is my feeling when this happens, when the other person is offering a bright light towards me, and if I look at the bright light, I cannot drive safely.
Yeah.
So what I can do is I have to keep my vehicle in such a fashion that it is not going to, maybe if I just keep away my eyes, so that my vehicle is also safe. So I can see this. But more important than that, that is also a physical thing. But more important than that, what is important is our feelings. when I have a feeling towards the other person is not known
Yeah.
to me, right? If I feel myself, say, disharmony or opposition or any kind of not naturally acceptable feelings, that is affecting me only. The other person
Yeah.
is not known to me. We do not know why he is doing this. There may be some purpose. There may not be some purpose. We do not know this.
Yeah.
So we usually think of the other person rather than myself. This happens again because I'm also a car driver. This happens with me too. Earlier, I used to put my bright light towards the other person, but now
Yeah.
this kind of an opposition is not happening with me. I can see that the other person also has difficulty in driving when I put this bright light towards him, even though mine is not like this bright LED, but usual normal light only.
Yeah.
Now I try to evaluate my feelings when such a thing happens. So we have to maybe slow down the car for some time, but sooner than later it is going to set all right. But if you rush the car or if you do something unforeseen, that may affect you only, and the passengers may
Yeah.
be inside the car. So let us set our feelings right here also. These are all external triggers. Whatever you're telling is maybe the case of students or the shouting by another person or bright light by the opposite the vehicle. All these things are external triggers, and they do not do it intentionally, but because of their lack of competence. Right. So let us try ourselves to set our feelings right and improve our competence. When we do this right evaluation, so we are discussing about that maybe in the next session, but evaluation is possible only with me completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
In that case,
Even
what to think, Bhaiya?
yeah, let us think of ourselves, our feeling, our evaluation. Even say I have a very close friend of mine, I cannot evaluate the other person 100% as if I am evaluating myself, because I see only one part of what I see is only expression outside from the other person. But as far as I am concerned, I can see what is happening within me, my harmony or disharmony, whether I have respect or disrespect, whether I have trust or mistrust. These things can be seen by me. And what feeling I have with the other person when this external trigger is happening, this also can be seen. So I can evaluate my feelings very rightly. And I can set those feelings, if they are not naturally acceptable, I can set those feelings naturally acceptable. That is what I can do. And even with the proposals, I would say that we cannot make anybody to verify the proposals. Rather, we can help them. So to students also, we discuss the proposals and help them to explore. But it is, in fact, they have to rather self-explore and verify these proposals. We can only help them. Just we can also become like external triggers to the students. So in such situations, let us drive safely. That's what I can say. Setting our feelings right, we can drive safely. Otherwise, there is every possibility for an accident. So let us avoid that. Let us be safe. Slow down. So if you drive in the night, it is always better to drive very slowly, so that there is no kind of an accident. That is what I can say from my little exploration. Yeah.
Yes, Bhaiya. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashok Bhaiya. Damodar Bhaiya, you have unmuted your mic. Wish to say something?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I am hearing that today your class is taken right feeling and right now, right here, right now.
Right here, right now. Yeah, the video discussion. Yeah.
Okay, I feel the what you said is very right, sir. If we keep a good feeling and always happy, we can not shout or blame to others. But previous section, sir told, if we driving with blaming others, they are coming rush or some other feeling, we keep always silence and happy. We can overcome their accident or any dangerous situations. In earlier, I feel also like that. we are shouting to others with angrily what they are doing is. But after hearing the UHB program, I completely changed such a way that if whatever they are doing, first I hear and tell one thing, one small words to there. And if they are not agreeing, then I keep silent and escape from that place. So that is happening, sir. That is right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like that. If we keep always calm and cool and hearing others what they are telling, it is always good for ourselves. That is my explanation. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. When you keep silence, then also we can evaluate in what is our feeling.
Oh, sir, okay.
Is what is happening inside is naturally acceptable or not? This also can be analyzed, can be evaluated.
In Malayalam, one word is there, sir. പോത്തിനോട് വേദം എഴുതിയിട്ട് കാര്യമില്ല അറിയാലോ sir. അത് അങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരു that type of wording I remembering so that.
Yeah, but when we say like that, there is no point in telling the other regarding this because he is not going to listen. That is the meaning of what you said just now.
Okay.
But if you think like that, then we have a feeling of opposition towards the other. But we do not express it outside.
That is good.
Yeah. But even if
other intention, what is the other intention? We know, we don't know, sir. So like that.
does the other intend to harm us? What do you think? No.
That was
So
not.
the other does not intend to harm us, but it is because of his or her competence, lack in competence, that this is happening.
That is happening. So like that, sir.
Yeah. Even there is a thief, he does not want to make his son or daughter a thief, does he?
Okay.
No. So he knows that what he is doing is not naturally acceptable, and he want to come out of this, but he cannot because of his lack of competence.
Then how to tell and understand them to naturally acceptable way? Then how to there is no position or no time to tell and like that.
Yeah, it takes time, as you said. On the road, we cannot say because it is happening very quickly, right? This bright light is happening very quickly. You cannot just stop the vehicle and tell them. But what we can do is we can set the feelings right and set ourselves safe. That is what we can do at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. In any kind of situation, let us see, even if we are expressing this outside or not, whether my feeling is right or not. This we can evaluate. That's what, that's what I say. If my feeling is right in inside as well as outside, then it is naturally acceptable. Otherwise, I'll be in disharmony, at least inside.
Okay.
Yeah, this we can set right. Thank you. Nice.
Thank you.
Very good. 2 sharings were there. Very nice. And now the discussion on the video right here, right now. This is the next in sequence in the students workshop. In the UHV 1 session. This is session 8 of that. Can you put in the chat box how many of you have watched this video earlier? You would have done at least one workshop. There are some students, there are faculty members also. So how many of you watched this video right here, right now, before? Can you put just yes or no in the chat box? If you have watched the video, just put yes. Otherwise, you can put no in the chat box. Yeah, Ansel has watched. Damodar Bhaiya did not watch. Ansel, yes, yeah. Anybody else who has watched the video? If you did not watch it, then there is no point in discussing about this. After you watch, we will have a discussion. But we discuss about this reaction response part here. So I can see only one message in the chat box that you have watched this video. If others also can put a message, whether they have watched or not, in the chat box, it will be nice. Yeah, Damodar Bhaiya is asking which video. The video by name right here, right now, directed by Anand Gandhi. It is released somewhere in 2013, I suppose, like nearly 9 years before, 9 or 10 years before, or more than that. There are 2 parts in the video. Priyaji has watched. Very nice. Thank you, Didi. Yeah, I will give you the link. Damodar Paya. Nice. So Priyaji, if you can post the link here, that will be very nice, because I am presenting. I may not be able to post the link from my side. Somebody else who has the link with it is available in the YouTube. You can just type in the YouTube, youtube.com. This right here, right now. You will be getting the videos, because it is a very famous video. It discusses about a series of linked instances, events in which in one series of events this reaction is carried forward. Yeah, Ansel has put this. Thank you, Ansel, for this link. The link is available right now. Ansel has put it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Damodar Bhaiya. So if I try to show this here, I'm not sure whether the sound will reach you. That's why it is better if you can watch it and have a discussion upon this. So many of us would have watched it, but some of us would not have. So I say in general that a series of incidents is there in the video, where, yeah, so the links are available in this slide also. Okay. In which a gentleman starts as a trigger of a series of incidences, which resulted in reactions in one sequence. And the same gentleman, he became a trigger, or became the trigger in the beginning for a series of other incidences, other sequence of incidences where we have responses. Very nice. So if you watch it, then we can have a discussion upon this. So what we see in those videos is interactions with each other, reactions or responses. When we say reaction, this is when we see that when the other person is not competent. If you try to get irritated, as in the sharing, we saw some say events like bright light in the night by the other car or other vehicle, or shouting by a person, maybe of higher authority or otherwise, or students not listening to us properly. All these things, they may say, when we see all these kind of incidences, if we feel that the other person is not competent enough, then if you are getting irritated, or if you are getting angry, or if you are cursing the other, blaming the other, then that leads to reactions. So we can see in the video a series of such say incidences in which there is reaction. The gentleman in the first scene, he was offered food by his mother. He's a very young man, like maybe of the age of 20 to 25, that age. So he was rushing to go somewhere. The mother offered him food, but he refused to take food in the morning. And the mother got irritated because of this reaction by her son. And that irritation is passed on to the maid servant who is there in the house. So the servant was fired immediately, or she went away from the house because of this reaction from this lady, from the mother. And further, the maid servant, she passes it on to her daughter, and she passes it on to her lover, and further to a boy who is on the road. It goes on just like that. Then there is a narrow vendor in between. The coconut vendor is there in between. So he was also getting this reaction. So this is getting just escalated, just like that. And finally, that ends up in an accident. And the accident victim was the person who was triggered all this in the first scene. But he was injured. But in the later scenes, you can see that he was rescued by another person in the response scenes. That is very nice to watch, and we can verify some of these proposals with this particular video. That is why I recommend all of you to watch this video if you did not watch this. And then in the analysis, we usually discuss in the with the students after letting them watch these videos, which of these incidences are indicating right understanding. Which of them are following this natural acceptance, verification with natural acceptance? Which of them are following this sensation part? And which of these incidences are following some kind of preconditioning? So these things are being discussed with the students also after watching the video. Yeah, this is a scene from the first video, the first part of the video. The lover of this girl, she was being there are some exchange of words between her and her mother, and after that she is sitting with his lover. He came to discuss something with her and offer her a movie ticket so that they can go for a movie and be happy. So that is what they planned. I mean, that is what he planned, in fact. But the girl was not willing to that because of her reaction mode. She sends him away. That is this particular scene, and that further creates another reaction to a boy who is. He is an auto driver, as it is shown in the movie. This is a scene from the second part of that movie, second part of the video, where this girl, whose name is Shruti, she is having a lover, and this is her grandma. So grandma, there was resistance from her house, or rather her father and the other housemates to not to go with this lover. But finally, this grandma agreed to accept her proposals, and she let her to go with her lover. That was the final scene. So there, the grandma has a preconditioning that the boy who helped the grandma on the way, she was carrying a maybe something which is having very much weight. So she was carrying that a particular box which is very heavy. A boy helped her till her house, and the boy was a Madrasi. The boy was belonging to South India. So she thought that all these South Indians are very good. So the lover of this girl is also a South Indian. So she told her to go with that lover. That is a scene over here. So if you watch the video, you can connect it. You can connect these incidences with what I am telling. So here starts a series of incidences with, it is not starting here, but it started from the first scene itself. The trigger was the boy in the first scene. So this is the video. Let you watch it, and then we can have a discussion upon this, maybe next session or so. So what is happening there is, these two series of things. So when we have this response, we decide our feelings on your own right. As we have the sharing today by a couple of our co-explorers. So when we are in the response mode, so when we see that the other person is lacking in competence and I also lack in competence. So if I lack in competence, I have to set my competence right, first of all. I have to improve my competence, and also I am committed to help the other to improve his competence. But I can only help to improve his competence. So this, I will offer the help only after setting my relationship with the other right. So I have to set my feelings right, as we discussed in the first part of the discussion, and then help the other also to set his or her feelings right. So this is my response mode. When I am in reaction mode, you or I decide my feelings based on the behavior of the other, as we discussed with the first sharing in today's meeting. I decide my feelings based on the behavior of the other. When the other person shouted, so initially I was calm. Later, my behavior changed. My behavior means my expression outside changed. My feelings are also different in that case. So initially my feelings were okay. I was in harmony. But later, when the shouting continued, my feelings became like in disharmony. My innate nature became disharmony, and I started shouting. Right. So if I decide my feelings based on the behavior of the other or based on events, that is going to lead to this reaction mode. Response is based on right understanding. You always have the right feeling. That is the naturally acceptable feelings. It is definite and unconditional. So irrespective of what is happening outside, irrespective of what is a trigger from outside, irrespective of events or other happenings or situations, my feelings will be all right. The naturally acceptable feelings, like the foundation feeling, trust, will be there. I can see that the other person who is supposed to become a trigger is lacking in competence. And because of this lacking in competence and his lack of right understanding, this trigger is happening, and it is not going to affect me because my feelings are all right within me. But if I have a relationship with the other, I can also help the other person to improve his competence. So the now in such a case, if I do not depend upon the external triggers for my feeling, my behavior outside will also be definite and unconditional. The behavior of the other is only an indicator of the state of the other, like this bright light, for example. When a bright light is shown by the person who is coming opposite to me in a vehicle, what I can say is that it is only an indicator of the state of the other. He may be disturbed inside, possibly. There is some, he may be going for an urgent thing. This can also happen, but my imagination will be different. So I can set my feelings right that there is something happening with the other person. There is a level of competence of the other person is not right. So I can set my feelings right, and I can be safe in that case. With that input, you decide your behavior to ensure mutual happiness. Competence of myself is also not fully developed. The other is also lacking in competence. So I can improve my level of competence by setting my feelings right. This is my response mode. Whereas if I am in reaction, my behavior depends upon whether you like or dislike the taste of the behavior of the other. If the other behaves properly, then you have a right feeling and may behave properly. For example, if the other dims his light, let's say, I dimmed my light, so the other is also dimming his light. Or he is already traveling with a dim light, then I will be behaving properly. Let's say, if that is the case. But if the other is coming with a bright light towards me, then I feel irritated. I go into the reaction mode. Then I have a wrong feeling, and I also may misbehave. Then I also put my bright light towards him. So that is like maybe leading to a situation of confrontation, possibly, or opposition. So this is a reaction mode. So when I am responding, I can see that I decide my feeling, my feeling and behavior. Behavior is my expression outside with the other human beings. So I decide this, and I am self-organized because I verify my imagination with my natural acceptance, and I am self-organized because of this. But otherwise, if I am in the response mode, if it depends upon events or situations or other persons, my remote control is with others. I am enslaved. Yeah, if the other person triggers, suppose my behavior is different for different human beings. It can happen sometimes, right? If it is person X, I behave in one way. If it is person Y, I behave in another way. If it is another person, let's say Z, I behave in some other way. So this is happening. Sometimes I behave with naturally acceptable feelings. Sometimes I may not. So if that is the case, then there is no definiteness in my behavior, and it is conditional. I am always in this reaction mode. I have given this remote control with the other, that how I have to behave is to be decided by him or her. So this is a reaction mode, and in that case I am enslaved. because I'm not behaving with my own naturally acceptable feelings, but I'm behaving with what the other person is triggering me. So this is what we say remote control is with the other, just like a TV. So you can operate your TV. If you switch on, it will switch on, and it will play some videos or some channel, right? And you can change your channel accordingly, according to your wish. So like we control a television with this remote control, if we give this remote control of my behavior with the other, then we say that I am enslaved. But what is desirable, or what state I want to be, is I want to be self-organized. I wish to verify my imagination with my natural acceptance. So my behavior is definite, and I decide my behavior. Let me see that my feelings are all right, and they are definite and unconditional. So in such a case, when I am in this response mode, without any, say, influenced by any trigger from outside, my conduct is definite. On the other hand, my conduct is indefinite. So these are the key proposals and key takeaways from this particular session, or rather this response reaction slide. Now, if there is any questions or any exploration by the participants or by the co-experts, you can place them, we can take them. Or if you have watched the video, you can just share your thoughts on the video also, right here, right now. We can discuss them here. Which are the incidences in which you see this response mode, and which are the sequence of events in which you see the reaction mode. And what is the result of these responses, and what is the result of this reaction? This also you can say. Which are those incidences or events in the video which are sourced by preconditioning, sensation, or natural acceptance? This also can be discussed if you have actually watched those video, those two parts of the video.
Sir.
And still, yeah.
Yes, sir. I had watched that video quite a long back ago, but yet I remember, like, for each of the 3 or 4 preconditioning as well as natural acceptance, and also in the reaction mode, I remember the consequences, like when the boy appreciates, when the brother appreciates his little bro's painting, that it is a great one, he feels happiness inside itself. That can be considered as a response. And in the preconditioning part, when the son says to his father about the advertisements, father says that it doesn't have such a scope at the current scenario, but he knows that the present scenario has got a long scope for this advertisements, which can be said in a way that the father had a preconditioning about that particular advertisement. And then in the reaction mode, most of the incidents are in the reaction mode, sir. The whole video has portrayed the effects of this reacting, beginning from the mom's anger till ending with an accidental death. It's all because of that single particular word reaction, which is only due to lack of inner peace, sir. Like, we should develop inner peace within ourselves, sir, in order to take the situation peacefully. Because as we all have heard, our mind is our own weapon, and also it's the same honey which can make us sweet. So it's us who has to take the decision on whether we should react or whether we should do in a particular response. That would be my takeaway, sir.
Very good, very nice. Very good observation, Sensil. You have watched the video, I am sure about this. So the boy and his father, I mean, it is his uncle, not his father. So yeah, the boy says that when they are traveling in the car, that he wants to go for this advertisement. That is the preferred profession which he is willing to go. But the uncle says, because he has been already fired or recently fired from a computer, like a software firm, He says that computer engineer is the best job. And why couldn't you go for? So that's a preconditioning. As you said, the event is very true. I'm very right. It is a preconditioning. Do you remember any of those events which is naturally acceptable? Rather, the trigger of the event is naturally acceptable, or the feelings are naturally
Yes,
acceptable.
thinking of the grandmother by the boy. Just by seeing their grandmother takes a lot of weight, he just comes with the cycles and helps the grandmother, sir. It can be seen as a naturally acceptable feeling of helping everyone.
Very true. Very true. The boy has natural acceptance, and the boy helped the grandmother because he sees that the grandmother is carrying a lot of weight, and she is struggling to carry that much weight. So that is a natural acceptance, right? The grandmother is not related to the boy otherwise. I mean, blood relation. She is any kind of a stranger for that boy, but still seeing that the other is struggling, the other human being is struggling, so he pitched in to help the grandmother. That is natural acceptance. Very, very nice. Very true. So that's a very good evaluation of that video. At least only small part of it. There are plenty of other incidences which we can watch. There are 5 languages used in that video, including Hindi, Punjabi, even Malayalam is also there. Small part is there. English is there, and one more language, I think Gujarati. So these 5 languages are being used in this video with subtitles, English subtitles. So anybody can watch. Anybody with any local language can watch it and understand the video. Even without language, it is understandable, I suppose, because language is only a means of communication, and what is communicated through pictures and through emotions is also very important. What is the feeling of a particular character in the video? This also we can make out even without any dialogue. Nice. Any other question or any other exploration? Any sharing regarding the video or what is being discussed right now? Okay, I request everyone to watch the video, and we have a discussion maybe next Wednesday regarding this. Shashikant Bhaiya has a message in the chat box. Shashikant Gosavi Bhaiya, after responding in own right of self, should we not react to convince others? Yeah, Bhaiya, we can evaluate this, whether to convince others, whether we go to the reaction mode or whether we can convince the other with the response mode. When we respond with the other person, even when the other person is reacting, let us see if the other person also comes into this response mode. Or to convince something. So when we say that we do not need to fall into this reaction mode, we never say that we don't need to convince others. But convince is a different word, but we can tell what is happening, like facts, we can tell. And to convey these facts, we can use naturally acceptable feelings and naturally acceptable language also, I would say, where the feelings are all right, feelings are set right. But convincing is different. I mean, we cannot convince anybody else, can we? Rather, we can just tell them. And it is maybe how the other person takes it. If the other person has this right understanding and his feelings are all right, when he is in the response mode, maybe he takes things in the right way. But on the other hand, suppose both of them, say both the parties are in the reaction mode, then can you or the other person understand something? Whether I can really feel what the other person is feeling. But I just see that my feeling is not right, and because of that, I react and I continue reacting. I continue shouting. Even though we are very close to each other, we use a very loud voice. Why? This happens, right? When in reaction, this happens. We use loud voice to speak to the other, though he is very close to me. Maybe centimeters away from me. So he is also not going to understand anything. I am also not going to understand anything. So reaction is not a solution. As we say here, if I behave based on what the other person says, or what the events happening with the other person, then my remote control is with the other. I change my behavior according to the other person. I'm enslaved. So let us try to be self-organized, verify things based on our natural acceptance, and be self-organized, and decide my behavior based on my natural acceptance, what is innate within me, and set my feelings right, so that I'm always in harmony. That is my desired state. But to many of us, this desired state may take some time. Whenever we go into, we always keep in response mode. Let us try to. I won't say we deliberately keep in our response mode. Thank you, Shashikant. But we let us try to be in this desired state. This is a desirable state. But even if you go into this reaction mode, as Bhaiya was telling in the beginning, we can evaluate what is happening within. If the feelings are not set right, let us try to set it right. So it is good that when you are going to the reaction mode, you evaluate. It is happening with me also, this evaluation process. So what is happening right now is a reaction or a response. So we tend to come back to this reaction mode. Sorry, this response mode from the reaction. That may happen. Nice. So this is something to self-reflect. In your own interactions, find out the percentage time you are responding and the percentage time you are reacting. What is the effort required to progress from reaction to response? This is for each and every one of us. We can see how much time, maybe in the next week till next Wednesday, we are responding to situations or to responding to the triggers outside, or how much percentage of time we are reacting to the in my behavior and work outside. That's it. So what is the effort required to progress from reaction to response to develop the right understanding, at least about relationship? This will be discussed in detail in the second program. And for the students, we have a program UHV 2 in the second year of the graduate program. In many universities, it is there. To be aware of your imagination, develop the right feeling within. To repair the damage from past reactions. So these three things we can focus upon to put effort required to progress from reaction to response mode. These are all desired states: developing right understanding, to be aware of the imagination, develop the right feeling. So we evaluate within, to repair the damage from past reactions. Repair the sensor, repair the feelings. So in past reactions, if you evaluate what happened, usually we can see that the reactions are leading to my lack of, rather losing of my harmony, or my feelings are not right because of this. So we can repair that in a sense that we can set the feelings all right, as we discussed in the beginning. And let us verify, rather see the imagination through our natural acceptance. So when this verification happens, you can see that many of the preconditionings and sensations go off. Rather, they give way to the naturally acceptable triggers. So let us evaluate things based on our natural acceptance. That is what is the gist of this particular three things. How are people deciding? Are decisions motivated by preconditioning? Are decisions are motivated by sensation? Or are decisions motivated on the basis of self-verification based on natural acceptance? This is what we have been discussing right now. Yeah, these are three examples from the video. How did the grandmother decide that it is okay for Sudhi to marry the doctor? So the boyfriend of this girl, Sudhi, he is a doctor, he is a medical practitioner, and he has also depicted an act of natural acceptance towards the end of the video, that the accident victim was rescued by the doctor. The doctor was rushing in an excitement to get married with Shruti, but on the way he sees this accident, which is the boy in the first scene. He was hit by a car, another car. The other car was driven by this another boy, Ajay, who is in the reaction mode after an incident. So he was thinking of several say things in opposition with his uncle, and in that he didn't see this young man crossing the road also. So he hit the person. So when the doctor saw this accident and the car driver, he was flying away from that scene, the doctor helped this accident victim to go to the hospital in his car. That was the last scene in this particular movie. So how did the grandmother decide that it is okay for Sudhi to marry the doctor is preconditioning. That the grandmother sees that the boy who helped the grandmother is a Madrasi or is a South Indian. The doctor is also a South Indian. So she thought every South Indian is good. So Sudhi, she let Sudhi to go with this doctor. So that is a preconditioning. Why did the boy say, I love you to Chahat? So there is a scene like that. The boy means it is a little boy. He is a little boy who is the younger brother of the young man in the first scene. And as Ansel was telling, the boy prepared a painting for Chahat, his lover. And the young man or the elder brother of this boy appreciated this boy, and that triggered his response mode. And when he met Chahat, Chahat also said that you are a good artist. So he was getting late to meet Shruti. That is because of his natural acceptance that every life is important, and helping other human beings is important than going to say maybe get married at that particular moment. So he can go later also. That was what he would have thought, to help this accident victim. So that is his natural acceptance. So there was nobody else to help the person. That is why he helped this accident victim. That is it. So this is what we have discussed in this particular session. How do we decide usually? Are we deciding based on or motivated by preconditioning, or what percentage? We can just take this as an assignment for this week. So are your decisions motivated by preconditioning, or are your decisions motivated by sensation? Or what percentage of your decisions are on the basis of self-verification based on natural acceptance? This can be set as an assignment for this week. When you come back for the next weekly meeting next Wednesday, some of you can share, or maybe all of you can share with regard to this. You can put your message in the chat box also. How much percentage of your decisions are motivated by preconditioning, sensation, or self-verification on the basis of natural acceptance? Yeah. What share is based on preconditioning, sensation, natural acceptance? Yeah, like when the percentage is given here just as an example, so you can tell your percentage. So this is what we have discussed. Response is naturally acceptable. Reaction is not naturally acceptable. Reaction could be positive or negative, but it is not based on right understanding, right feeling. So there are some positive reactions in the set of incidences, and there are some negative reactions also in the set of incidences. Some of them are based on right understanding, some of them are not. But it is the reactions are not based on right understanding and not based on right feeling. That is what we say here. Yeah. So you can note down your behavior throughout the day, at home, in the workplace, and you can list down many times, how many times you responded in your behavior and how many times you reacted. You can calculate the percentage of reaction and response in your behavior. You can list any 5 to 10 choices of you made in the past week. You can find out what is the percentage of your choices motivated by preconditioning, sensation, and natural acceptance, self-verification on the basis of natural acceptance. You can note any 2 situations where you reacted, and now you can explore to see what would have been your response in those situations, everything else remaining the same. So how to repair or how to change your reaction to response mode. That is what is expected here. These 3 things can be taken as questions for home assignment till the next Wednesday. If there is any quick questions we can take, this is already time, that's why. So if there are any questions or any sharing quickly, we can take them. Otherwise, we can meet in the next Wednesday's meeting with your exploration regarding this home assignment. The key points were like response and reaction. So response is naturally acceptable and reaction is not naturally acceptable. So thank you everyone for this, for the participation. I can also see that many of the co-explorers and students are watching this in the YouTube also. So thanks to those who are watching in the YouTube channel too. Thank you so much. Over to you, Parishit Bhaiya. Yeah, Bhaiya is not there. So thank you everyone for your participation in today's meeting. Let us meet in the next Wednesday's meeting. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.